Okay, everybody. Hello again. Greetings, and we're back. And we kind of wanted to finish up our conversation about trust. I think that we all understand what a trust is. We know it's a way of owning our assets, a way of protecting the assets that we own, a way of passing on things that we worked hard for that are a part of our estate to our beneficiaries. We know that there's many tax breaks. We know that there's other benefits to having a trust. So it's something that we all should think about to prepare ourselves in case of an emergency, or to make sure that we're prepared just for life itself, to keep our assets. That's another thought. We want to keep what we worked for. We want to keep what we have. So they say a trust is a way of owning assets. It's also a way of making sure to protect your assets, meaning that you want to keep what you have. Okay, so this video is going to be shorter, I hope, because what I want to impress upon you is preparation. How do you get started? I know people are saying, okay, so we're talking about trust. This is so exciting. I want to make sure that I'm able to protect myself. I want to make sure that I'm doing everything that I can to protect myself. What should I do to get started? Okay, let's do something that we call an inventory. That means just taking a notepad and begin to write down all of your assets, things that are very valuable to you. Now, you know if you own a home, you know if you have a car, you know the jewelry you own, any artwork that you own, your bank account, your stocks and bonds. If you have a safe deposit box, make sure that you not only list the safe deposit box, but everything that's in that safe deposit box. Don't just put the box on there, have a safe deposit box. Make sure all of the items are itemized and listed. So you want to start doing an inventory of the things that you already have. You want to do an assessment of things that are very valuable to you, whether they have an appraised dollar amount value or whether they have a sentimental value. They mean sometimes sentimental values, or I should say many times or most times, sentimental values have the most value personally. They may not be worth anything to anyone else, but to you, oh, they're invaluable, and I get it. So do an inventory. Begin to write down everything you have, and it's going to start rolling around in your brain and making you think broad. You're going to say, wow, I didn't know I had so many things that are important to me. Just start looking around. We know the big ticket items, but what else is important to you? What are the things that you've done in life that you want to pass down, that maybe some writings you've done? You have a journal. You know something that's interesting that just came up that's kind of new? I told you I'm on the cutting edge. They're now putting passwords to your electronic emails and other items. Passwords have to be exposed, or should be, so in case something happens or if there's an accident, oh, we can't access this. What happened? So people are now looking at electronic devices and passwords and to put into the trust. Isn't that interesting? So that in case something happens, they need to get into this or they need to open that. I have something hidden here. It has a password, because we all bank online now. Well, we don't all bank, but many of us do. We have our apps and we have to have passwords to get into those. So cutting edge, you heard it from me. Think about that. Just write them down, what they go to, what they're worth as far as the value to get into those passwords. Not anything on your Facebook or none of that stuff. We're talking about bank itemizing your bank accounts, that you may have passwords that you owe. Online banking. Some people only bank online. There are banks that you've never, no brick and mortar. They're becoming more and more popular. Can you believe that? I don't know if I trust them yet I mean, online banking, okay, but I can go into my bank. But there are banks that are virtual. Wow, I haven't gotten that advanced yet. I know about them, so it's still cutting edge, but am I going to trust it? I don't know. I know people that do, and they feel comfortable and they've never had a problem. I don't know about that for me, but you have a password to your virtual banking account? Yeah, somebody needs to get in it. So again, this video is short and sweet. Thank you guys so much. Get your pens out. Start looking around, writing things down. Your insurance policy numbers, your car insurance, your home insurance, your life insurance. They're worth something. Who would you want to leave that to? Is it enough? Not just to bury you, your burial insurance, that goes in there. So we have to have all of that information to make sure that everything is written down. If you don't have an advanced health care directive, you want to probably go ahead and get that completed. There's so many things we have to work on. So get your pen and paper out, start writing down your assets, start taking an assessment of your estate. That's your first step. And then you can take a look at that information and say, wow, these are the things I want protected. These are the things I want people to know. These are the things I want to pass on to my beneficiaries. I want to get my act together. I want to make sure that it's done legally. I don't want anybody in the probate court. I want to make sure that everything's controlled the way I want it. Again, remember, we're speaking beyond the grave. We're still in control. Also, it's in case of incapacity. You're speaking for yourself. Nobody has to guess. Oh, I think she wants to be revived. I'm not sure if she's allergic to this medication. All of that's written down. So they'll know exactly what you want. And let's start. Let's start writing it down. Let's get it together, and then we'll talk about other things next time. I'm not sure if we're going to go into probate or we're going to just do a summary, but it's going to always be something exciting, something interesting, something you can learn from, something that makes a difference in your life, something that you can say, wow, I'm really doing something for myself. That's what this is about. And since it is my specialty, I started off talking about being a fiduciary, what that meant, how that works, because so many people now, we're going to talk about dementia, because that's a large portion of people who are becoming conserved. Initially, I was telling you, and you hear about it all the time, people who are just walking around out of it. Somebody says, oh my God, my mom got out. Or you hear it on the news, there was a woman walking and she just had on a robe and we don't know her family. So we have to be prepared for all of those things. Anyway, if there's any questions, suggestions, things that you want to hear, more things that you want to know, write it down in the comment section. Send your questions, and I'll be glad to answer it. I don't know everything, but I do know what I do know. Thank you so much for listening. Take good care of yourself. Take good care of your families. And I look forward to coming back with more cutting edge, timely, important information.